Morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to kick things off with our opening hymn. If you'd like to join us in body and spirit, please do. We're going to sing number 1011 in our teal hymnal, Return Again.
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to what you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul and reborn again.
Welcome and welcome back. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Manhattan. I'm Pastor Isabel Call. I use she and they pronouns. And our greeter this morning is Kathy Swenson. You may have encountered her on your way in. Anyone, if you see somebody here you haven't met before, if you're an old-timer or a newcomer, please grab a cup of coffee or tea with them after the service. Thanks to Doug Walter for being our lead tech this morning. He's going to cover all of our tech needs. So you're encouraged to silence your phone, to give it, to give yourself, to give your neighbors a little break from the digital onslaught. As Unitarian Universalists, we value each person's worth and welcome people of all ages, all bodies, and all minds to participate in fellowship life. If you have a mind or body that needs something quiet to do with your hands or other senses in order to get comfortable, there are fidgets at the back of the sanctuary. And if someone you're with is small, you can use our alternative seating up here. If you've joined us on Zoom, welcome. Today we don't have a Zoom host, so we are disabling cameras and microphones until the service is over. However, the chat is enabled, so you're welcome to greet each other, and later we'll read any gratitudes, joys, and sorrows that you type into the chat. And if you're here in person, you can write your gratitudes, joys, and sorrows on colored paper from a box in a seat nearby, and we'll pick them up later in the service. Now we have some announcements. From Sarah.
Good morning. My name is Sarah, and my pronouns are she, they. In December each year, we have a craft fair as a fundraiser. If you're a maker of any sort, we'd love your contributions. More details will be made available as we get closer. Hannah's Helping Hangout is this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. This is a monthly event to drop in and get help with UUFM-related technology. Wednesday is also the meeting for the Manhattan Interfaith Justice Team. This is a combined effort between us, First Congregational UCC, and the Manhattan Mennonite Church to work to address justice issues. Thanks to them and everybody who got out the vote and worked hard to defend integrity of the state Supreme Court in our recent referendum. Saturday is our monthly board game and movie night. Join us for a board games in the Oslop Fellowship Hall and the movie Hidden Figures in the Sanctuary at 7 p.m.
diversity, equity, and inclusion are central to Unitarian Universalist theology and practice, and these values show up in our relationships with people of all ages. Our theme this summer is collective freedom. In this service, I invite you to reflect on ways that you have felt free and included in community at different stages of your life. And what are those stages? So in a moment, we'll have a photo of Joseph Sigach, citizen of the Neskantaga First Nation. He's standing in front of his paintings, The 7 Stages of Life, which represent an Anishinaabe worldview. Now these 7 stages are unique for each person. We may enter or exit them at different time than the people the same age as us, and the stages often overlap. To bring us into reflection, let's look at each of these stages. And I'll share some words from a framework outlined in the open source ebook, Our Stories, First Peoples in Canada. The first stage, the good life. Building and experiencing loving and nurturing relationships, receiving care and unconditional love from extended families, soaking up experiences that will be the foundation for future growth. Next, the fast life, preparing for a rite of passage at the time of puberty, building identity and self-esteem, and learning about one's roles and responsibilities. Next stage, the wandering and wondering life, when we challenge ideals and ask questions, find oneself, find new teachers, find new worldviews, and gain new experiences that will help us on our life's journey. Contemplating the impacts of one's choices and testing one's limits. Next, the stages of truth, when we receive guidance from elders or traditional teachers, seek information beyond our parents, establish beliefs and value systems, and consider whether to become a teacher through having our own children. Next, planting and planning, crafting goals and a path to pursue them. Next, doing, when we strive to fulfill the plans we've made, practice everything we've learned on the journey so far. This stage is a time for hard work. And finally, the elder and giving back life. One takes on very important clan, family, and community responsibilities, passes on knowledge. Our physical self begins to weaken, while our spiritual self begins to get stronger, or continues to grow stronger. The authors conclude that at this stage, you come full circle, closer to being the spirit you were at birth. So as we move into our service, consider what stage you might be in, or stages, if you're in one of those overlapping moments, and what people of other stages you have the room and energy to include in your thoughts and prayers and daily life.
Hello, my name is Cosette, and my pronouns are they, them. I am the incoming chairperson at UUFM. I'm going to read the words of Dr. Issei Barnwell as our friend Dan lights the chalice. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers and our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are seekers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages.
We invite you to sing with us once again, hymn number 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body burn to bend, and like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die, a time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emily Fraser, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at UUFM. My pronouns are she and they. And I'm not on the right page. There it is. So we're about to enter into our time for all ages, after which any kids in the room that would like to come and join me in the back are welcome to follow me out. We get sung out here at UUFM. But in the meantime, I'm very excited to share for today's Time for All Ages, We Are the Builders, which is this book by Deepa Iyer. But Deepa Iyer is also the author of another book, Social Change Now, A Guide for Reflection and Connection, to which this is sort of a kid-friendly introduction to many of the core concepts included in her Social Change Ecosystem Map. And there's a poster featuring the Social Change Ecosystem Map on the newly updated RE bulletin board in the hallway. If you have not seen it, please feel free to check it out. I think this might be a very interesting and useful tool for us here in our community. Because when I think about, what is religious education in a UU, and also we've been using this term recently, talking about it here, of whole church RE. What is it in that context? And I see it as all the ways that we can intentionally practice our values together through our relationships. Sometimes practicing our values can feel really overwhelming, especially in times like these when so many of our values are being threatened. The stakes can feel very high, and we might find ourselves just burning out by trying to do and be all of the things that are needed for the kind of social change that best embodies our values in the world. And what I appreciate about Deepa Iyer's ecosystem map is that it reminds us that we don't have to do or be all of the things all of the time. We are a part of a social change ecosystem, and we as individuals can choose just one area to focus on at a time. So as we read this book together, I invite you to pay attention to which of these community roles resonates with you today. So we are the builders. It's going to be a little interactive, so. All right, so here we get started. Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our own town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders?
Anybody?
Anyone? Okay. We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? Woo, we got some people. Okay, we got some people interested in that one. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect, stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits, gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? Ooh, we got some hands in the back.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? Yes, we always have a good representation of that here. All right.
I love that people aren't necessarily choosing just one.
Yes.
It's not our style.
Yeah. All right. We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise. We solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? Ooh, look at those hands. We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? Nice. We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? Got some of those too. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art, bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past. History is cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers?
Anybody?
Yes. I got a couple of those too. Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that it's clear what we can each do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change your community?
Thank you, Emily. So in a moment, we're going to sing Emily and Any Kids to Class, where they'll talk about roles, and we'll have a chance for conversation here. If you're planning to stay in the sanctuary, I'd like you to look around and ensure that you're sitting near some folks who play different roles in the ecosystem than you do. And with people you haven't talked to in depth before. In a little bit, I'm going to ask a few questions, and we're going to have some small group discussions. And so I want to make sure that everybody has folks nearby that they can chat with and have a good conversation, especially newcomers and visitors. So let's sing the kids out, and you're welcome to use this time to move seats as well. So I'm going to start out with a guided reflection meditation and then move into my own reflections before we break up and chat with each other. Imagine that each of us arrived here today, accompanied by everyone we once were and everyone we will someday become. The person you will be next year is milling about in the Allsop Fellowship Hall, waiting to become, chatting with the person you were last year. Your toddler self is running down the aisle squealing, and the wise elder of your future giggles. The most relaxed version of yourself is zooming in from a vacation at the beach, toes dipped in the sand. I wonder how old they are. Are you imagining this with me? We have a very crowded building with all these versions of you, standing room only. And there are so many people on Zoom, we would have to flip through an infinite number of pages to see all the faces. So, with everyone here, let's take the opportunity to gather some collective wisdom from our many selves. I have a few questions to reflect on. What wisdom does your younger self possess that helped get you to where you are today? What reassurance does your younger self need from you? And what reassurance do you need from the person you know you can become? Now I'm going to invite you to let go of your imagination of your future. Let all those older images of yourself shimmer into fairy dust. But hang on to the memory of your younger selves. I'd like you to choose a specific year of age, a time in your life when a healthy, safe community really mattered to your well-being. Or perhaps it was a time in your childhood, young adulthood, or sometime since then when you felt isolated, and you know now that community would have made all the difference. If you've been a member of the fellowship for a while, you might bring to mind a time when you were especially engaged here. So how old are you in this memory? And now I want you to shift perspectives and think like community leaders in a safe and healthy community, trying to engage people that age that you were with the particular needs that you had at that age. What makes these people at that age, what makes them a gift to your community? Why do you, as a community leader, want them to be engaged, particularly at this moment in history? What values does your ideal community have? And how is engaging people this age important to fulfilling those values? So I was pleased to find Joseph Segach's artwork about the 7 stages of life for our acknowledgement this morning, and the written explanations for each stage. What I didn't read to you earlier was the rough ages for each stage. I wanted you to feel free to reflect on your own life, which might not line up with a traditional Anishinaabe understanding of how things happen over time in a given life, especially in this society where so many community supports and rites of passage have been eroded by consumerism and other forces. I was also a little dismayed personally by the specific ages identified. Planting and planning, ages 28 to 35, doing, ages 35 to 42, and then the elder and giving back life begins closer to age 49. So if I were on schedule, I'd be done with crafting goals and the path to pursue them. I'd be wrapping up my striving and practicing and hard work, and I'd be living in that amorphous transition period on the way to elderhood. Now, it's not that I'm not in an amorphous transition period. Is anyone here not in a transition period? Aren't we all in this election season, in this global climate surveillance war, dystopia? But still in my early 40s, I don't identify as a grandparent. And I expect many of you relate, even those of you with decades on me, even those of you who have had children, and those of you whose children have had children. Certainly, giving back is important to us. Perhaps our spiritual selves are growing stronger, and perhaps our physical selves are weakening. But maybe we're not quite ready to come full circle. Maybe we're still in a doing stage, or a wondering, truth-telling stage. The written guide to the 7 stages also remarked that the giving back stage is when we are closest to our grandchildren. In my rough gander at UUFM members' faces in Breeze, I estimate that a little over half of us are 50 plus. And though fewer than that may identify with being in the 7th and final stage of life, we do have a collective longing for kids to be around. Not necessarily our own kids or grandkids. In fact, there's something really compelling, really tied in with our values about passing along the knowledge we've gained to young people with whom we're not blood related. Mentorship. And it can be just as heartbreaking to lack opportunities to mentor as it is for younger people to lack support. So why aren't there more young people here? I want to give voice to that question that's been with us for a while. And I want to share an angle from community organizers Megan Elizabeth Coleman and Josephine Ferrarelli. They write, "One headline among many blazes, climate change is so scary it's making these women reconsider having children. The hyperventilation goes on and on. The end of babies, to breed or not to breed. A world without children." The featured image, too, is one we've seen in all its permutations, the torso of a slender woman, often white, her hand resting protectively on her pregnant belly. The roundness of the belly is superimposed with an image of the earth. The background is a dry wasteland. Pregnant belly, parched earth, blue marble planet. This is the aesthetic shorthand that our predicament is reduced to. The predicament itself often emerges as a question. Can I have a child in the age of climate change? How do we imagine the future, think about parenting, about love and families and political action in a time of worsening crisis? They continue, to limit global temperature rise to a level that can still sustain human life, we have huge changes to put in motion before the year 2030. We must make the most radical transformation to our societies and economies that humans have ever attempted. And for many people, it's also the heart of adulthood and the balance of our reproductive years. Confronted with such an immense challenge, such terrifying prospects, and political torpor where there should be action, it's natural to want to turn away in fear and despair. A proper headline might read, "The climate crisis is harming our families and threatening our reproductive sovereignty." Those of us in this predicament have a collective responsibility. Our work is to define and defend what's best in human nature and culture, and honor the world in which we live. That's why we get up every day, to protect all that's beautiful, beloved, and vulnerable, despite worsening odds. In their book, The Conceivable Future, Coleman and Ferrarelli argue that would-be parents are isolated in an impossible question. Can I have a child in this time of crisis? As community leaders at various stages, our job is to fix the system, they write, rather than blaming babies who aren't even born yet for consumption that is enabled and indeed required by the economy we live in. And whether we actively blame those would-be babies, there is an air of fear and concern and even like competition that we have with this next generation coming in. Their book is a description of a vision of a life worth living and a world worth living in. And it's an antidote to not just the climate crisis, but all the dysfunction pervading our systems. The conceivable future, they write, has a livable climate in which risk and harm mitigation is well planned and well funded, and costs and benefits are equitably shared. The conceivable future has an economy that is regenerative and non-extractive. The conceivable future is just. It enshrines accessible, affordable, expansively defined, and legally protected healthcare for everyone. It is anti-racist, gender inclusive, feminist. These visionaries, followers of reproductive justice, have given words to my own vision of a world where young women don't feel pressured to have babies in order to be respected as women, where people of all genders are supported to be good parents if they choose, where people of all ages and vocations, whether or not their parents, are committed to and recognized for their efforts for the upcoming generations, where children and young people are meant to be seen and heard, their experiences validated, and their opinions respected. Coleman and Ferrarelli write to support the work that people in the stages of truth phase of life undergo as they discern whether and how to parent young children. And I think our community may be in its own stages of truth phase. The mixed experience of desiring children but not having many of them, a reflection of the same kind of unfair ambivalence that plagues and isolates young adults. Let's get away from our own impossible questions and live instead in a vision of our conceivable future. So to that end, I want to invite you into an exercise that comes to us from the child liberation theologian R.L. Stoller. It's a set of questions for a community to ask itself. Now, we could do this as a survey, and I'm going to put a link in the chat for those of you on Zoom to do so. But for those of us in the room, I want to give you a chance for reflection and conversation. So sit with one or two or three other people to discuss these questions, and make sure that any visitors or newcomers near you are included. Tell them about your experience here at UUFM, and if you're new to UUFM, tell us about your experience in other communities. And consider writing down notes on the paper I'm going to hand out, and you can give this paper to me or Emily later. And I invite you to include your names so that we can follow up with you for more dialogue. So we will come back in 10 or 11 minutes at 11:35. And if you're on Zoom, there's a survey I'll put in the chat. You can go get a drink or a cup of coffee, but do come back at 11:35 because we have some guest speakers from Project Excel that I want you to hear from. So go ahead and chat with each other. The questions are, I'll hand these out, but the questions are, the first one is, why in general do we want to engage children? Why do we want to engage children specifically at this current time in our global history? And how important is engaging children to our mission and vision and your values?
temporarily unmuted.
Thank you all. Let's come back. Looks like you're having good conversations. All right, I encourage you to find a stopping point, and then we'll have an opportunity to continue this over coffee and tea. Give us some more. Let's see. So I'd like to invite our guest speakers up from Project Excel. So we have Brenda and Douglas, who will give us a little introduction to our Helping Hands organization, Project Excel. They are the new coordinators, yes? And they have some, oh good, and Elias joining also. So yeah, come on up.
Thank you so much for having us this morning. My name is Dr. Elias C., and I'm the director of UUFM Community Learning Center. How many people know about UUFM? How many people have taken classes? Yes! That's wonderful. So we are in our 14th year, I believe, of Project Excel. It's a program for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Funding is slim right now, and so I'm really excited to introduce our two new coordinators, Brenda Visoso Basilio and Douglas Oliva. Brenda is a marketing, getting her bachelor's in marketing at K-State. Douglas is getting his bachelor's in accounting. They're going into their junior year. Brenda also has been helping us with HR, and Douglas has been helping us with accounting as an intern. So we're really excited to have them. I wanted to just go to the first slide before I give it over to them to talk about, yes, and then the next one, please, about UUFM. So UUFM is a place where everybody can teach and everybody can learn. I taught my first UUFM class when I was 9. It was corn husk doll making. And so I highly encourage you to volunteer at UUFM, take a class, teach a class. It's really fun. And we also offer a lot of programs for underrepresented communities because just like UUFM, we very much support diversity, inclusion, and supporting underrepresented groups like at-risk teens, people with disabilities, 55 plus adults, and many different programs. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Douglas and Brenda. I do want to give a shout out that we're starting a new after school program next week that will have a strong foundation in giving back to the community. We have 20 families signed up already, K through 5th graders, and we'll be offering transportation from the school. So this is called the After School Building Leadership and Enrichment. So if you have any children or grandchildren that are interested, we still have a few spaces available. So I will go ahead and let them talk about Project Excel. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm Brenda. So if you could go to that slide, perfect. Okay, why it matters. We have around like 65 participants joining every semester. We provide 5 classes for these semesters, and they continue to learn, build friendships, and gain confidence. We have some enrichment classes as well. It's a place where they can feel like they can belong. We provide like a welcoming place for them. Like we don't want them to stop learning. We want to give them a chance to interact with more people and have like time, to feel welcome. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Douglas, and it's good being here with you guys this morning. Just touching off with what Brenda said, we're here to give them the college experience, through K-State. So the 5 classes we have, if you could go to the next slide. So through our classes, our participants, they learn art, music, cooking, fitness, dance, gardening, community engagement, and life skills. One of the new classes we are adding for this upcoming semester for their course is a no-bake cooking class. So, just that community or like those life skills that they can build and take to them back to where they come from, and then just to build that community and have that sense of teamwork within their class. And they always have that hands-on experience to help other participants in their courses as well, and then they can apply that learning in their own life.
So we do want to expand the number of participants we have, but many participants live on a fixed income and cannot afford tuition. So this is why we need all the support we can get. Any tuition assistance keeps the classroom open to neighbors who need it most. And in this way, we can hopefully get more participants and have that wonderful number that we've been looking for.
So, one thing that we like to say through Project Excel is that they belong, and that belonging can, change their lives. Project Excel is built on the belief that every participant can learn, and that success looks different to every learner. One thing that I like to tell people, especially, our new instructors that are all K-State students, is we're all human, and at the end of the day, we all deserve to be treated with the same respect. So we treat them no differently than you would treat anybody else, and that really impacts them because we're that positive community that they only get to see once a Saturday for 5 weeks. But so we always make sure that we come with a positive attitude, and so we can make great memories with them, and they can have a wonderful experience.
I would like to say a few about what our process looks like right now. Because we are students, and me and Doug are really new to this, our teachers that we have chosen are actually K-State students as well. We want to give them this opportunity, kind of like internship availability, but they get the experience of teaching what they love. So our classes right now are, how Doug mentioned, the no-bake cooking. We have a Find Your Hobby, which I think is really fun because everybody needs a hobby, We have dance, crochet, and what's the last one? What have I said? They're hard to keep track of when they're not on the list. But yeah, this is full of K-State students right now, which is why we have these lists of materials that we are currently looking for to provide these classes in the best way possible for our students. And that's why every dollar stays right here in our community with this, by getting sponsors to help us out with this.
So you guys may ask yourselves, why UFM? And we have come to know that your congregation has long believed in dignity, inclusion, and compassion, and lifelong learning. And Project Excel puts those exact values into action every Saturday with these students. And your donation or your gift stays within Manhattan itself, and it goes back to the community and to people that need it most. And you're not just giving back to the community, but you're also changing lives for people that really need it. And just having that good community impact also changes not only their lives, but the communities as Manhattan as well.
So imagine if someone told you that once you graduated from school, your opportunity to learn was over. Project Excel changes that story. So every Saturday, people discover new talents, friendships, confidence, and a new purpose. These classes are every Saturday from 9 to 11:30, I believe. And we have like enrichment time in between these as well. We don't want to treat them less than what they are capable of. That is our goal and mission for this.
So we'd like to ask you for any support that your heart desires, but to sponsor one student one semester, you're also changing one life. So thank you.
Thank you both so much. Yeah. Thank you for coming today and telling us, and I'm glad that you're in your new coordinator positions.
I invite you into the spirit of generosity. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Manhattan is to be a diverse, evolving spiritual community acting for a better world. We dedicate ourselves and our offering to this mission, weaving a tapestry of love both within and beyond these walls. Money placed in envelopes in the offering basket will go to Project Excel. Unmarked donations will go into the UUFM General Fund to support our mission. Many of us donate online to the fellowship, the Helping Hands organization, and the Blessing Box at uufm.net/donate, or with the QR code on your order of service. When the basket comes to you, you may add any written gratitudes, joys, and sorrows. Even if you aren't putting anything in the basket today, you can pause while holding the basket as a ritual of thanks for the generosity of our world. If you're here on Zoom, now is the time to type your gratitudes, joys, and sorrows into the chat. Let us move now into generous presence.
Thank you, Renee. Will you stand there and drop stones? Thank you. So we've come to the time in our service when we share our burdens and amplify our celebrations. Please take a few breaths and thank your body for bringing you to this moment. Cosette, will you pour water to connect us to those who've come before? We didn't have any gratitudes shared in
We heard these words earlier in the service during our chalice lighting, and now we are going to put them to music. Our closing hymn is number 1051, We Are, and we invite you to join us in body and spirit singing us out.
Offer these final words from Deepa Iyer and encourage you to keep talking, keep the conversations going that were so thorough earlier. Our belief in the promise of social change through connections with one another is why we keep trying after feeling disappointment, why we keep returning after grieving, why we keep fighting after resting. It's why we keep building after systems fail, why we keep loving even when we are experiencing heartbreak. It's why we take actions that embody solidarity, resistance, and hope. It's why we infuse our efforts with joy, passion, affirmation, and healing. We intuitively know that something better is blooming, growing, emerging, and we want to be part of that momentum, that stream, that journey.
As we leave this friendly place, now give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn guide our hearts till we return.
Hey, Mark and Terry.
Hey, Les, how you doing?
All right. How about you? I wondered. Yeah, we're hanging in there. Welcome home.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah. How long you been back?
A week.
Okay. All right. And you'll have to just say that you had a great time.
It's good.